Welcome. You're watching the Thrift Store Rundown, reading the worst of Hollywood, home on a budget. Last week, New York State Supreme Court Judge James Buck sentenced former Oscar-winning media mogul Harvey Weinstein to 23 years in prison, 20 years for the count of first-degree criminal sexual action, and 3 years for the count of third-degree rape to be served consecutively. Chalk another victory up for the Me Too movement, and another mammoth Hollywood scandal for author Michelle Morgan to include in her updated version of this, the Mammoth Book of Hollywood Scandals. Scandalous lives, deaths, and everything in between. Purchased for $3.99 out of a retail price of $14.95 in the US and $18.15 in Canada, even though this was originally published in the UK by Constable and Robinson. All the dirt on Tinseltown. 100 years of sex, suicide, sudden death, robbery, murder, and mayhem. From the 1920s to Hollywood's golden age in the 1960s, and right up to the present day, with Zsa Zsa Gabor, Madonna, Hugh Grant, among others. Get the lowdown on La La Land, behind the scenes. Times may change, but people, it seems, don't. Michelle Morgan draws on fresh archival material to uncover more than 60 Hollywood scandals in intimate detail. Each chapter is a story in itself, a fascinating glimpse into the more sordid side of storied showbiz. The scandals are by turns revealing, tragic, outrageous, and even entertaining, such as when Zsa Zsa Gabor clobbered a policeman. They include the tragic death of Whitney Houston and Michael Jackson, the fatal stabbing of Lana Turner's boyfriend, the disappearance of Walter Collins, whose abduction was revisited in the movie Changeling, the death of Stalin Virginia Rapp, which resulted in the downfall of comedian Roscoe Fatty Arbuckle, the Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes split, and many more. And a story which carries a significant amount of resonance today, the sad story of Patricia Douglas. In the spring of 1937, during an executive soiree for MGM at the Ambassador Hotel, Michelle Douglas was raped by salesman David Ross, who eventually went to trial and was acquitted on those charges. Her story is on page 203, chapter 21. No pictures in here to speak of whatsoever. Patricia Douglas later unsuccessfully tried to file a lawsuit against Ross and MGM. In 2003, she went to her grave without any justice. But as she was looking down upon us today, I hope she'd be smiling, knowing that we're making as much progress as we can with the convictions and imprisonment of Bill Cosby and Harvey Weinstein. And who else? There might be more Hollywood scandals to come, sadly in the wake of sexual deviancy. Michelle Morgan does her very best to pay tribute to the victims in this book, and sometimes to add a bit of wit to this book with Zsa Zsa Gabor and with Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes. But mostly, she is thorough and sometimes reverent. And that's the case with the Patricia Douglas story, which she covers in here. So I gotta give this a solid 5 out of 5. If you're into Hollywood scandals, the closeted lives of some of Hollywood's most significant wrongdoers, the ones who didn't want to be wrongdoers in the first place, you'll want to pick this up in memory of Patricia Douglas and all those who came before and after her, whose voices were silenced without any justice to speak of. I'm reminded of the old Family Guy episode, the one that was controversial and banned, When You Wish Upon a Weinstein. When you wish upon a Weinstein, terrible, terrible, terrible things happen. So don't wish upon a Weinstein. Alright, let me clarify. Don't wish upon a Weinstein that's won an Academy Award. That's it. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the thrift side.